The rain poured like the sky itself was crying that night. A man in his early 30s stood under the flickering porch light of a small, worn-down house at the edge of town. He had one hand on the doorframe and the other clutching a thin jacket around his little girl, who clung to his leg. Then, through the sheets of rain, he saw her. A young woman, drenched, shivering, sitting on the curb with her head buried in her knees. "Hey, are you okay?" he called out. She looked up, and in that single glance, those tear-soaked eyes, he didn't see a stranger. He saw pain, the kind he knew all too well. He didn't know then that the girl he was about to help wasn't just another lost soul on the street. She was the daughter of the man who had once destroyed his life. And by letting her into his home, he was opening the door to a past he had tried so hard to forget. Cloud with Rain Chapter 1, The Room for Rent. Ethan Walker was a single dad doing his best to keep life stitched together. His wife had passed away 3 years ago, leaving him with his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, and a mountain of debt. He worked double shifts at a mechanic shop, came home smelling of oil and metal, and spent his nights making sure Lily never noticed how empty the fridge sometimes was. When the bills stacked too high, Ethan did what he'd never imagined. He posted a handwritten note outside his door, "Room for rent." Cheap. He didn't expect anyone to respond that fast. That rainy night, when he found the girl crying in the street, it wasn't pity that made him call out, it was instinct. She looked fragile, lost. Her clothes were soaked, and her hands trembled as she clutched a torn purse. I just need somewhere to stay for a few days," she stammered. "I can pay. I promise." Ethan hesitated. He didn't usually trust strangers, not after what life had done to him. But when he looked down and saw Lily tugging at his sleeve, whispering, "Daddy, she looks cold," his heart softened. "Come inside," he said finally. "You can stay in the spare room. It's not much, but it's warm." She smiled weakly. "Thank you, I'm Ava." That night, while the rain hammered the windows, Ava sat quietly by the small heater. She didn't speak much, but her eyes roamed around the house, family photos, toys, a few framed drawings Lily had made. It was a simple life, but it felt real. Something she hadn't felt in a long time. Ethan offered her tea and asked no questions. But inside, Ava's heart was breaking. She was the daughter of Richard Grant, a powerful CEO who owned half the companies in the city. Yet, after a bitter argument and being disowned for wanting to live her own life, she had run away, with nothing but a few dollars and her pride. Now, sitting in a stranger's small home, Ava felt something strange, peace. Over the next few days, she began helping around the house, washing dishes, cooking simple meals, fixing things she could. Ethan noticed her quiet determination, the way she smiled at Lily, the way she stayed up late reading by the dim lamp. "Most people who rent a room don't scrub the floor," he joked one morning. "Maybe I'm not most people," she replied softly. Ethan chuckled. "Yeah, I'm starting to see that." But just as things started to feel normal, a storm from the past began to brew, because Ethan's old boss, the same man who had fired him unfairly years ago and left him broke, was none other than Richard Grant, Ava's father. And fate was about to tie their broken stories together. Heart Chapter 2, Truth, Tears, and Second Chances. Weeks passed, and Ava became part of their small family. Lily adored her, called her Miss Ava, and asked her to braid her hair before school. Ethan found himself smiling more often, laughing again, something he hadn't done since his wife's passing. But Ava's secret was eating her alive. Every night she stared at her phone, ignoring dozens of missed calls from her father's company. Her name was on the news now, missing heiress of Grant Enterprises. She knew it was only a matter of time before someone recognized her. One evening, Lily found a magazine at the grocery store. On the cover, Ava's photo. "Daddy, look, it's Miss Ava." Ethan froze. The words, "billionaire's daughter missing for weeks," burned into his mind. He looked at Ava, who stood by the sink, eyes wide and terrified. "So it's true?" he asked quietly. Ava's lips trembled. "I didn't lie about my name, but I didn't tell you who I was. I couldn't. I just needed to be me for once, not a company, not a headline, not a disappointment to my father." Ethan's jaw tightened. "Your father, he ruined me. He laid off hundreds of workers just to save his bonuses. I lost my job, my house, everything." Ava's eyes filled with tears. I didn't know. I swear, Ethan, I didn't know. For days, silence filled the house. Ava packed her things quietly, ready to leave. But before she could, Lily hugged her tightly. Don't go, Miss Ava, she whispered. Your family. Those words shattered Ava. That night, she left a letter on the kitchen table, a heartfelt apology and a promise to make things right. The next morning, Ethan found it. But before he could react, a black car pulled up outside. Out stepped a man in a suit, Richard Grant himself. He walked up to the door, looking weary, older, humbled. I believe my daughter's been staying here, he said. Ethan's anger flared. You mean the daughter you kicked out? Richard's eyes softened. I made mistakes. I thought I was protecting her. I was wrong. Before Ethan could respond, Ava appeared behind him. Her eyes met her father's, and for the first time, there was no anger, just sorrow. I don't want your money, she said. I just wanted a life where I mattered. Her father's voice broke. You always mattered. I was just too proud to see it. The tension melted into tears, forgiveness, and understanding. A week later, Ethan received an unexpected call. Richard Grant offered to fund a new auto repair shop in Ethan's name. Not charity, he said. A partnership. For the man who showed my daughter what family really means. Months passed, and life turned brighter. Ethan's business flourished. Lily had 2 people to love her, and Ava, she finally found a home where she belonged. At the grand opening of Ethan's shop, Ava stood beside him, holding Lily's hand. Ethan looked at her and said softly, funny how the girl I rented a room to ended up filling the emptiest room in my heart. Ava smiled through tears. And you showed me what money could never buy, a real family. Sunrise ending message, narrator's voice. Sometimes, the people we help end up healing us in ways we never imagined. And sometimes, the greatest riches aren't found in wealth, but in the warmth of a home that welcomes you, rain, tears.